again, YouTube, and welcome to another Scribblenauts Unlimited object editor commentary. Go ahead and subscribe and hit the bell if you like this kind of content after seeing it. Anyway, we're going to be starting off with a dancer as the source object right here in Scribblenauts Unlimited, the object editor. And so, today we have some epicness. We're going to be creating Bendy and the Ink Machines, one of the Butcher Gang members, and this is going to be Fisher coming up right here. We got a pool girl. I did not mean to take the torso piece. We want the arm, that back arm of the pool girl right here. And with that, we gave it this kind of cow print color pattern, and we got a letter I coming up after that. All of this is basically attached to the torso right now for Fisher, that dancer torso. We got a snowball also going to be attached to the torso, painted black right here. Fisher's body kind of has that circular part down at the bottom. Now, in addition to creating Fisher, we're also going to be making Slappy, of course, from Goosebumps, and we're going to be making the, I guess in honor of Goosebumps 2, the film, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. We got a cuttlefish piece coming up right here, arm tentacle part, we should say, and then octopus we'll type in next. There's a tentacle on the right side of the octopus. It's to our right, I should say, and it looks like this, kind of a wide angle tentacle opening right there, and we're gonna make that for the start of the arms at least, and then to finish them off, we're gonna do a receiver glove. So notice that I'm gonna type that in, and the receiver glove is often a good stamp to use for if you want some kind of just typical glove hand shape, like it's more of a realistic hand, whereas sometimes hands in Scribblenauts can be funny things. They can look really strange. Golf glove coming up for the back one. You know, we want this one to be a little bit more balled up like a fist. It's going to be holding on to a wrench. If we have enough stamp space, I think we should. But anyway, we got a capsule coming up right here, and the capsule is the shape capsule, not like the device or anything like that. And cardboard coming up after that. And so the cardboard placed down on the torso as well. We'll start off that kind of wooden sign, I guess, where it says liar. It's almost like a belt buckle or something, but it's really just a sign, I guess, strapped to Fisher that says liar right there. We did have to shrink down those letters as much as we could where it says liar, so the L-I-A-R, and then a mahi-mahi fin, so mahi-mahi's a fish, and we took that side fin. A reamer right here. We actually have not used this stamp once, and I've done how many videos? Definitely over 300, but, you know, we're only at like 301 numbered episodes, but I've done like speed creates and special episodes that didn't have a number to them. And so anyway, then finish it off with a kidney bean down there for the foot, whereas the reamer was like the top of the shoe. I should have said shoe, not foot. Anyway, we got a baboon coming up after that, and the end tail piece of the baboon. So this is really coming together. I like it. That's going to be for, of course, this like fishing pole part that his head's gonna swing off of, as well as we'll do a jellyfish. This tentacle piece basically looks kind of like a black line. Now you're gonna notice that I'm increasing the size a lot and then like decreasing it. That's because we decrease it to see if we have it on the right position where it should be. Fish coming up, that's the food fish, not the animal. But anyway, we're doing the same thing with the fish. So you increase it because basically the game will not let you move the item, the stamp that you're using, a certain distance away from where you placed it. You know, it's like there are boundaries, and to get over those, you just increase the size, and then you can decrease it when you have it down where you need it to go. But look at this, we're in the properties editor right now, and this is where you can edit health and what characters react to your object as, and lots of things that can act behind the scenes often. During this part of the video, I like to read background information and fun facts about whatever we're creating, so let's do this, of course. Now that we've made Piper from the Butcher Gang in this Scribblenauts series, it's great timing for us to have Fisher be created, as Bendy and the Ink Machine Chapter 5 has been released. I will say, however, I'm recording and doing this episode basically before Chapter 5 has gone live, so I don't actually know how much Fisher will play a part until I play Chapter 5 tomorrow, because it's Thursday today when I record this. Obviously, it'll upload on Sunday. Anyway, it seems Fisher's first appearance was in Chapter 3, where a few dead clones of Fisher are seen hanging inside the flooded warehouse of Level 9, where the dead Boris, Piper, and Stryker clones are located. I can remember how insane this all was, but all in all, I really like our scribble creation for Fisher thus far, so let's go on to creating the head pretty soon. Notice, of course, the wrench right there gave us a little warning on screen. It came up pretty fast, but basically, the point is to prove that this game, Scribblenauts Unlimited, while called Scribblenauts Unlimited, does have a limit to how many stamps you can place on to create your object, and so that's actually why we're going to be making the head and the body separately. Now you can see here one important detail was the fishing line part that would be holding up his head. Now Now, of course, we do have to create the head separately, as I just said, but we didn't have enough stamps to include that, so what I did was actually got rid of that little cuttlefish arm piece that was near the Fisher right arm, but it's to our left, like on the left kind of side. There was a cuttlefish piece there. I think the letter I can accomplish what we need design-wise in that part of the creation. So, okay, let's go ahead and start off with the head as the source object, and we'll go with the troglodyte, the back arm of the male troglodyte right here, and we're gonna color that right there. Okay, we got it in the right spot, I think. I just need to make sure that the sizing is okay. I don't know, this is throwing me for a little bit of a loop right here. But next up, we'll go with snot and put down the snot right there up above. I guess where the bridge of the nose is, just above that, the brow line. And then coming up after that is gonna be, no, the Utapam! And so the Utapam we're going to put down there as a, it's like the eye on our right side, but that would be Fisher's left. And so then we got the jellyfish tentacle piece that we were using before. It looks just sort of like a black line, but when you make it as small as possible, it really can be some nice detail right there, again in the brow line area and stuff below that snot. And so we did have a dot down for the other eye, and now we put a bubble within that. And so then we can take those pool girl arms, which we not only use for the nose, but we can also make that little X in that eye that's to our left side, of course Fisher's right, and then dots are on the end of the nose, and we're gonna go with a beauty, take that back arm of the beauty right there, the female beauty if that wasn't obvious. That back arm can start us off with, I guess this would be the outer part, the lips, you know, for the mouth right here for Fisher, and for some other details in here, we're gonna go with a shambler and take that top arm in the back of the shambler, and it's gonna basically be this wavy part and stuff over his lips, but kind of to the side of the nose underneath the eyes, and a hemisphere will be on the other side. So there's all these little tumors, you know, just big protuberances right there. Ping pong ball, you could just even type in ping pong and it'll work, but the ping pong ball will be down there, as well as we're gonna do it again in 1 second. I just want to be sure that everything is placed where I need it to go before I start doing too much on the design right here that I would need to move later. I want to be sure that the mouth is where I want it to be. So we got the nougat down there that was all black, and then an elephant calf. We've actually not used this either, the end trunk piece of the elephant calf. That'll be for these parts where, you know, it's like Fisher's mouth is open, but you can see that like flesh part connecting the top and the bottom lips right there on either side. And a hemisphere we did again black, not only for some more tumorous stuff to our right, but also it was part of the mouth in the middle. And so coming up next will be teeth, and that's going to be the stamp limit reached. Obviously, this is something that I would love to do, I would say a lot more detailed with each individual stamp, but we don't have enough stamp pieces to do that. So teeth will still work and still be an okay design for that. Honestly, it's so small in there that you can hardly make out a lot of the details anyway. Go into the properties editor whenever you create a head and a body separately and check off that circle sort of near the bottom. It's one up. Can be worn on the face like glasses. You want to make sure that that's filled in for your head object. And so now, are you guys ready for this? We're going to be now transitioning to create Slappy, and then you're going to see them both on the map on the level of this game in Scribblenauts Unlimited. I don't know, some of you who are watching this video probably have never seen Scribblenauts Unlimited or what it's about. We can play with our creations after they're made. You're going to see actually a whole bunch of other Bendy creations as well. We had a male supermodel as the source object for this character right here that we're creating, of course. As I said, it was Slappy, and Slappy's that dummy, so I don't know who's familiar with Goosebumps and who's not, but we, of course, are going to read background information and fun facts in case you need to know anything about Slappy, coming up pretty soon. But hey, it was the other most popular, most requested thing this week, so you guys were asking for it. We got a triangle, the shape after that wedge. The wedge was the tool. Wedge comes up with several options. Notice that we did have a hand. We kept on basically all of the supermodel parts except for the arm that would be to our left in the front. We did take that one off because I wanted the design of the back arm instead for both arms, if that makes sense. Minus side coming up right there for some collar. Bow tie gonna be right over that. And so then we did have the supermodel legs still on there. We took off the head and of course kept the torso showing a little bit beneath the fez. So fez, F-E-Z, was the main sort of body of Slappy's suit. You know, Slappy's wearing this suit right here. I would say pretty easy creation for the most part. Now we do need to do the head. That's where it gets a little bit more complex, but hands for hands. Pom-pom was the little rose there, like the boutonniere, and button, the clothing button, of course. So we're gonna go into the properties editor very, very soon, and so of course, as I said before, I like to read background information and some fun facts about the characters that we create here. So let's do this. Of course, Slappy the Dummy is a recurring villain in the Goosebumps franchise. Dating back to the 1993 Night of the Living Dummy book, Slappy is one of, if not the, most popular villain in the Goosebumps world. Presumably he was requested to be created here in Scribblenauts by you guys for his recent appearance in the sequel Goosebumps theatrical film, Goosebumps 2: Haunted Halloween. His appearance has changed a decent bit over the years, but I can imagine he remains the same old spooky Slappy by personality. I actually will confess, I never read Goosebumps as a kid. I just didn't really do much reading in general, I would say. My sister did have a lot of the books. One thing we'll do here in the scripting for Slappy in Scribblenauts is, because he brings the crazy Halloween decorations and, shall we say, monsters to life, we're gonna make him have a script for when he loses or gains health. He'll add the adjective fearless so that he won't run away from battles, but then he'll wait a set number of frames, around 90-ish, and then he will create an object, and that created object will be a hostile monster. You could do a lot of things here, like especially if you wanted to create a specific kind of monster, like a werewolf, witch, or something else Halloween-y, certainly do that. Make this your own. So we got a head as the source object once again, because we're going to be in the home stretch right now of creations, and then like I say, we'll play with the creations on the field, on the level. So we've got a nose coming up right there after the golden egg. The golden egg is a nice head shape for a lot of human characters that I create. Very good one to use. There's a few other choices, of course, but we got a cobia. Cobia is like a fish. There's probably plenty of synonyms for that of other fish that look just like that. You take the side fin of it and paint it black for the mouth. We also had, because he's a dummy, you know, the ventriloquist looking dummy, he has the two lines on either side of his mouth, which were those same jellyfish tentacle pieces that we used earlier near the jellyfish's body. And a tornado, you can take really any of the little debris looking pieces of the tornado. We use that one that you see down there for his chin. He does have, Slappy's got these like scuff marks on the chin as well as the nose. Now for what it's worth, a glow stick I felt was pretty good for this, but you could, I'm actually gonna walk back on this. I was about to say you could use grills, Grillz, but the problem is the grills would actually probably be too high, like tall, for the look of the teeth there in the mouth, and so the glow stick actually is a really good one. Ear was for the ears, and we actually didn't do the ear like to be backwards as far as like, you can't say like the ear's backwards. It's on purpose. Like, you know, the cobia fin, a cobia fin is obviously not a mouth. A pimple is not a piece of eye, but we did it anyway. So we're doing the same process with those ears. We purposely turned them around because the shape of Slappy's ears is a little bit more like that. And so the ear was actually a good shape if we flipped it for what we needed. So it's not like, hey, the ears are backwards, like it's a problem. It's actually a design feature on purpose. And so we got a spiderfish side fin, and the eyes were, of course, a P as well as a wart for the pupil, the black part in the eyes. The P was the colored part. And I did that pimple again for some like white shininess in the eyes. It just helps your character's eyes pop and give them some more detail. This looks so funny with him bald because, of course, Slappy is not bald. We're about to put on the hair. We had a nursery fish side fin as well for that scuff mark, the wear and tear on the nose. A Roadrunner, I don't believe I've actually used this stamp either in this series. Again, it's amazing just to not have used anything after doing this series for like 6 years, every single week, sometimes 2 episodes a week. By the way, we upload every single Sunday if you are new, and again, I really appreciate it if you guys subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. We had a rat tail, not only for one of the eyebrows, but it was starting off the top of the hair, whereas that Roadrunner wing on the side, that Roadrunner wing is some side hair, near his ear. Now, for the Kraken, you don't want the very end tentacle piece that looks like a diamond triangle type shape, but you want the part right next to that, so just before the end of the tentacle, and that'll complete the hair on the right, because Tornado was up at the top. There was a tornado part. And so, of course, we called it Slappy Head right there, as it should be. It needs to be pretty small, so you need to make that head be tiny, because Slappy he's a little short dummy. Under the equipment tab on the head, just a reminder, can be worn on the face like glasses is what you want to check off. And so now, ladies and gentlemen, I've been teasing it all this time, but let's go ahead and show you what they look like on the level, but we're going to need to do a little bit more editing. Notice that Fisher's head is just slightly off. You could actually do it like that, and I think it could be passable, but I want to get it pretty accurately, so we'll go back in to edit the body object just real fast, and you can press this button that turns on the green grids right there, and the green grids basically show you all of the moving parts of your character, or where you can place things, as a separate piece of your source objects, mobility and and all that. So anyway, we moved the head grid. You can actually click on the grids and move them around. And so we just moved that head grid. I think it needs to go just down and to the left a little bit. And so Fisher really should look a little bit more like this. And of course, you can see Piper on screen there. We actually, we have the demon ink Bendy. We have his head right there. Bendy holds close your way out. And of course, Bendy Kendo. Some people have been calling him Kendi. Some people have been calling him Bendo. We cannot get a consensus here. I feel like everybody's divided. But it's me combined with Bendy. All right, so let's put on Slappy right here into the field, or into the level, I should say. Field doesn't really make sense, but all right, so we got the Slappy body in there. Let's put down the Slappy head. You basically just give, of course, the head to the body object right there. You notice that the head was way big, so I kind of cut out everything in post-production in the editing process. Made his head a lot smaller, so it's gonna fit a lot better. Piper running away from Slappy right now, as well as Fisher. You know, these guys gotta get hit once to become brave. You can just make them brave by default if you want to, but look at all these monsters coming out. Holy monkeys, Slappy. Every time he gets hit, basically, it's very soon after he's gonna create a monster, so this is pretty nuts. There's not really a feasible way that any of these guys can beat Slappy right here. We would need a pretty powerful being to take on all of those monsters as well, and because they are monsters, they don't attack each other, so a monster will not attack another monster, even though they have the hostile adjective and they're aggressive and all that. So Slappy just completely being very, very spooky. He scares me. I mean, look at that, creating all those monsters. So of course you saw on screen our creations of Fisher and Slappy, and then of course I'll show off some other Bendy and the Ink Machine creations here from Scribblenauts. These are all done in past episodes on the channel. Link in the description to the playlist. I do have a playlist of all the Bendy and the Ink Machine episodes from this channel. And of course we live streamed the game, Chapter 5, so definitely if you didn't get to catch that, you can go check out the live stream there, and we will have a giveaway of Scribblenauts Mega Pack based on who commented "I want Scribblenauts Mega Pack" on that live stream. Subscribe, leave a like. We'll be back on Sunday, or maybe before. Gonna be lots of Bendy and the Ink Machine content coming up. Feel free to request things down below, and I will catch you guys on the next vid, and thanks for viewing.
Twist and turn.